So I'm looking, as I do every single day, for news about the Chargers and what's going on. Maybe there's been a signing. Maybe there's been all this kind of stuff. And I have to admit, it got me. There's an article that got me, and I didn't think it would. But here's the thing about the article. It left a ton to be desired, but they still made a great point. And that was that the LA Chargers have possibly just had the biggest upgrade in recent memory at a key spot. And let me show you what that is. It's at the head coaching position. I know this is old news, but just stick with me because I want to paint a picture. Take a trip with me as I paint with a broad brush and then get into the specifics about what a coaching upgrade this absolutely has to be, going from Brandon Staley to Jim Harbaugh. As it says in this article, it is nothing short of outstanding. All right. Of course, this is always going to be opinion-based, but considering what we know, there's a great amount of argument for this. Now, he talked about Staley at his time, and he was on the sideline for one of the biggest collapses in playoff history in a 31-30 loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars following the 2022 season. They led 27-0 in that game. It was all downhill from there. And then this year, they fell to 5-12. And I understand that that was in part due to injury for Herbert, but the team couldn't even get there with Herbert playing. So let's look at just the ridiculousness of the difference between these two men. All right, when you look at Staley, you see 3 years of coaching experience, 9-8, 10-7, and then 5-9. Would have been 5-12, all right, if he had not been let go in the middle of the season. So that total record of 24-24 should have been 24-27. But here's the thing that I think is kind of crazy when you look at it overall. He only had 4 total years as being a coordinator or head coach. He was only a coordinator for 1 year before he got the head coaching job, and it was when he was with the D coordinator with the Rams. The Rams that had Aaron Donald, right? Like, just ridiculous players on that team. And you're sitting here, it's like, all right, well, when you get away from all the talent there, all of a sudden you might be realizing it, or you might realize it's not that great. Let's look at his coaching career. He was a grad assistant at Northern Illinois for 3 years. Then he moved to Division III. Then he went somewhere I've never heard of, NJCAA. All right, I have never heard of it, where he was an associate head coach / defensive coordinator. And then, honestly, you can make the argument that he didn't actually start his coaching career, like real coaching career, in the bigs until, quite frankly, 2017. Like, he just went, he was a grad assistant at Tennessee. He probably learned something there. All right. But then D3, FCS, D3, D3. So he got some D coordinating in him, but like at D3. Then he goes and he's a position coach for 3 years in the NFL. 3 years in the NFL. Bears, Broncos, 1 year with the Rams. That does not prepare you to become a head coach. That was a bad hire. And if you can't make a team better than it was under Anthony Lynn, you're a bad coach. Trust me, I've seen Anthony Lynn ruin an offense in Detroit too, all right? I get it. Now let's look at Harbaugh. His overall record is 44-19-1. Sure, it was 2011 to 2014. By the way, Staley was just bopping around in Division III at that time, all right? He has a proven win-loss track record. A almost 70% winning record in the NFL is remarkable. It is remarkable, and that's with his final year being at 8-8. He won in the playoffs as well, 5-3 in the playoffs. Remarkable. But then just his overall work. All right, he spent, and this is the thing about Harbaugh, after being a professional quarterback, went and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years paid his dues being an assistant coach at Western Kentucky. That's humble pie. You can't tell me this guy doesn't have humility in him. Are you kidding? That's unbelievable. Then he goes and he takes a couple years stint as a quarterback's coach in the NFL. right, with the Raiders in 02 and 03. And then he is on, and he is going to be in California for a long time. All right, at the University of San Diego, he's a head coach for 3 years, shows that he can turn a program around, goes to Stanford, shows that he can turn a program that had been absolutely pitiful around, and then goes to the NFL at the 49ers, a team that was ready to bust through as a good team with talent, and did they ever? All right, and this is all in, like, despite not having a good quarterback, and I'm just going to say it because I don't think he was. So that's what we see right there. Then he goes to Michigan, and all he does, and I'm telling you right now, we've told you why we like this channel. We're Michigan fans. I'm a huge Michigan fan. I've been a Michigan fan my entire life, and I'm not young. And I know they won the national championship in 97, but by early 2000s, it had become very clear that the SEC was king, and Michigan, with its recruiting standards, with its academic standards, and everything of the sort, I am telling you, it is a place that is almost impossible to win a national championship, and he did it. He did it this most recent year in 2023. He wins another national championship at 60 years old, and now here he is back in the NFL with the Chargers. This is a man who has won every single place he has gone. Every single place he has gone. I have never seen him lose anywhere. He didn't lose at San Diego. He didn't lose at Stanford. He didn't lose at San Francisco. He did not lose at Michigan, and he will not lose with the Chargers. Whereas Brandon Staley had never proven he could win or lose. He barely was able to prove that he knew how to call plays. Your defense was the problem when you had a defensive-minded coach. That makes no sense, all right? And you can bring in whatever offensive coordinator you want, but when your defense can't stop anybody and you can't even form tackle, what are you going to do? And just real quick, just proof, there was an article coming out about what did Asante Samuel Jr. work on, right? Under the tutelage of Harbaugh, under the new, what's his name? Ben Herbert, right? Your new workout guy. I don't know why I can't think of words. Words are hard sometimes, people. All right. Cornerback Asante Samuel Jr. is looking to grow in his third season as pro under the watchful eye of Harbaugh. In a fresh interview at Chargers.com, he revealed what he's working to develop most this season. And he said this year, it's mostly calisthenics. Samuel said, just getting stronger and faster, the basic things, and working on my technique. Yeah, because he's a good player, and the only thing about the 5'10", 180-pound Florida State product that he really needs to work on is making sure his body is at a place where he can stick with the best. Like, that's it. And, of course, he's going to work on his technique. That's what a great corner should be working on. So, yes, you may have had the greatest upgrade in coaching in NFL history. The only other team that could make that argument, and I don't know if it's going to work, because the difference between Sean Payton and Jim Harbaugh is that Jim Harbaugh knows humility. Sean Payton only knows his way. And that is why it has been such a weird, isn't it fun to watch though, dumpster fire for the Broncos since he's been there. And they might be moving toward the right direction, or they might be moving in an absolutely terrible direction. I don't know. But what I know is that you have the pieces in place. Now you have the coach in place to move forward in the right direction. Hope you like the content. Keep liking the videos. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And you can be part of all this, where hopefully you get some non-biased Chargers content. Thanks for watching. See you.